I saw too, man, you had been not only training with Shakur, but I also saw Floyd had been there. You've been hitting mitts with Floyd, working out with Floyd. Talk to me about just the whole process for this fight, not only training with Shakur, but training with Floyd as well.
Working since August. I've been doing this since August. I've been in my own garage, working, thinking, game planning. How the hell I'm gonna get back in the...
Under Floyd Mayweather's mentorship, Shakur Stevenson and Kashan Davis prepare against Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz, which will shape both fighters' trajectories at a critical moment in the lightweight and junior welterweight divisions. Within this context of high expectations and career-defining stakes, analysts have closely examined how the matchup between Davis and Ortiz might unfold in the ring. Timothy Bradley anticipated a messy and difficult contest, largely stemming from the clash of contrasting styles. Ortiz's technical versatility stands in sharp contrast to Davis's unorthodox, disruptive approach, a combination that Bradley believed will make it challenging for either fighter to establish consistent rhythm or momentum. Despite the predicted choppiness, Bradley concluded that Davis's adaptability and awkwardness could ultimately give him the edge, securing a narrow but meaningful victory in what promises to be a strategically complex bout.
Between him and Keyshawn, I think it's gonna be a very ugly fight. You know, like a lot of people's hyped up about it. A lot of people saying that, you know, Keyshawn's gonna want to show up and, you know, and take over the show. And, you know, I get all of that, but man, I just think that it's gonna be a very choppy fight because, again, you got that technician that can switch things up and do a little bit of everything, right? And then again, you got that disruptiveness of Keyshawn and his style. It's Davis to win this fight.
Looking at this high-stakes environment, Kashan Davis approached his own clash with Ortiz not merely as another contest, but as a defining moment in his career. Confident in his abilities, he envisioned a knockout victory as the marker that will establish him as a dominant force across multiple weight classes. Moving up to 140 pounds, Davis aims to test his power against naturally larger opponents while laying the groundwork to carry that same effectiveness into the welterweight division in the future. For him, this matchup represents more than a single victory. It is a step towards solidifying his place among boxing's elite, and he believed that 2026 would be the year his rise becomes undeniable, a progression he felt the sport has long awaited.
Knock Jermaine out January 31st, they're going to be saying Keyshawn is the next face of boxing. I feel like I'm the best at 135. I feel like I'm the best at 140. I feel like I'm the best at 147. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I want to go to 147 to prove that. I'm going to be a small guy at 147. I'm going to be knocking them guys out the same way I was knocking guys out at 35. The same way I'm about to knock Jermaine out at 140. And 2026, I'm gonna be on that pound for pound list. 2026, y'all gonna be looking at Keyshawn like he's about to take over the game. God willing, I'm going to do that. God gave me the ability to say this, you know what I'm saying? And again, I'm 13 0, the entire world know me for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And the entire world been waiting for me. Every time I go on Twitter, bro, somebody's posting something about me. Like, the world been waiting for me to come back. And I genuinely feel like when I knock Jermaine out, bro, January 31st, they're going to be saying Keyshawn is the next face of boxing.
From the other side of the matchup, Jermaine Ortiz offered a measured perspective on Davis's move to 140 pounds. He acknowledged that without knowing Davis's natural physiology, it is difficult to determine whether the decision stems from necessity or ambition. Reflecting on his own career, Ortiz admitted that he should have moved up in weight sooner, and he now identifies himself as a legitimate contender at junior welterweight. He also noted that some of Davis's previous opponents at 135 may not have been naturally strong in that division, suggesting that Ortiz's own experience and acclimation at 140 pounds could present a new level of challenge for Davis, testing his power and adaptability in a fresh competitive context.
What do you think about his move up? You think it's a weight issue thing, or you just think he's like, oh, I want to try to get another fight at a higher weight class?
I don't know, because I don't know his body. I don't know his body. I don't know his size really like that. So I can't tell you if it's because he couldn't make weight at 135 and needed to move up. And some people genuinely need to move up to 140. You know I was one of those guys that had to move up to 140 way before I did. Way before I did, I should have moved up. And it was a good thing. But I'm a solid 140-pound contender. And the guys that he fought at 135, I don't even think they were really solid 135.
Building on his assessment of the matchup, Ortiz framed the fight as a critical opportunity to reinsert himself into the world title conversation. Fully aware that chances at the highest level of boxing are both limited and unforgiving, Ortiz made it clear that his approach will not involve adjusting his style to suit Davis's tendencies. Instead, he intended to assert his own technical identity in the ring, operating under the belief that it is Davis who will be forced to make the necessary adjustments
That put you into that position to get you another title fight.
Yeah, it is, man. In boxing, opportunities don't just keep coming. And, this is another chance at me defeating a top prospect, somebody with a name. And once I beat Keyshawn, I think the sky's the limit for me. And I think I'll get another shot at a world title.
As much as you can give us, how does Jermaine Ortiz fight a Keyshawn Davis?
I think Jermaine just got to be Jermaine. I don't really fight or adjust to fight somebody else's style. I stay in my style. I fight how I fight. And they got to adjust to me. I don't adjust to somebody else.
Is Keyshawn the best fighter you fought to date, you think? Or have you fought fighters that are better?
No, I fought fighters way better.
Ahead of the fight, Jermaine Ortiz expressed
strong confidence in his abilities while speaking to the ring. He said he believed his skill set was clearly superior, explaining that he felt he had more tools and greater versatility than his opponent. Ortiz stated that those advantages would be fully displayed on fight night, predicting an exciting performance and positioning himself as the standout of the event. He added that he expected to leave the ring with his hand raised and hoped his performance would surprise people and leave a lasting impression.
When it comes to skills in this fight, do you feel like you are superior when it comes to Keyshawn in terms of skill set and whatnot?
Yeah, of course. I think I have a lot more of abilities, a lot more tools, and those tools will all be shown on January 31st. You guys gonna expect the best fight of the night. You guys gonna expect me with my hands raised and maybe jaw drop. That's what I like to have people do. I want when they see me that their jaws drop.
Shifting the focus from pre-fight predictions to preparation, Keshin Davis described the unique environment of training alongside Shakur Stevenson under the guidance of Floyd Mayweather. While Davis and Stevenson had shared gyms for years, he explained that this camp stood apart because for the first time they were preparing for the same fight date, creating a shared sense of urgency and purpose. Davis viewed this as the most unified and productive camp of his career, crediting the collective chemistry and genuine support for sharpening both his mindset and his performance.
Saw Floyd had been there. You've been hitting mitts with Floyd, working out with Floyd. Talk to me about just the whole process for this fight, not only training with Shakur, but training with Floyd.
As he shared his thoughts on the matchup, Davis predicted that Shakur Stevenson would control the early rounds against Teofimo Lopez, using discipline and positioning to establish a clear tactical advantage. He believed that this early command would gradually force Lopez to abandon patience and begin pressing forward more aggressively in an effort to shift momentum. As that impatience set in, Davis expected the fight to evolve from a measured technical contest into a faster and more intense battle, one that would test both fighters' conditioning, composure, and ability to adapt under sustained pressure as the rounds progress.
Show his dominance, honestly. I think after like the first couple of rounds, when Shakur just keep racking up those rounds, like round 1, he won round 2, round 3. I feel like that's when T.O. probably gonna try to start stepping on the gas and probably start walking him down or doing his little tricks or whatever he does, But I think after Shakur maybe like round 1, round 2, I think that's when T.O. will start getting anxious and probably start trying to get his rounds back. But I think it's going to start off slow and then it's going to be very, very fast.
Adding the perspective of a former champion, Roy Jones Jr. stressed that Keshin Davis's focus and discipline are directly tied to the level of opposition he faced. He explained that against lesser fighters, Davis could become complacent both in training and during the fight itself, lacking the urgency required to stay fully engaged. According to Jones, a prepared and skilled opponent like Jermaine Ortiz demanded Davis's complete attention, a challenge that consistently brought out his sharpest and most disciplined performances.
Here's how I see it, Dre. A person like Keyshawn Davis, when you see him start to have those issues outside the ring, that means that you're making it too easy for him inside the ring. You understand me? When it's easy inside the ring,
I see that.
They don't have no word, they don't have no backlash, they ain't got no responsibility. They feel like, oh, this is easy. But when
And no pressure, no real
when
pressure.
you put somebody like an Ortiz on the other side of that fence, now it's a problem because guess what? Come in here and think you're gonna just walk through this one and you're gonna be in trouble. And that's what kind of fights he needs, because he's the kind of guy that apparently, if you give him an easy fight, he's going to take it easy outside the ring as well. And he won't focus on that fight. He'll focus on other things. But if you give him a real fight, now he got to focus inside the ring.
Continuing the analytical breakdown, Greg Hackett offered a balanced assessment of the Davis-Ortiz matchup, viewing it as a genuine 50-50 contest with no clear favorite. He acknowledged Ortiz's history of close and sometimes contentious decisions, noting that such outcomes had followed him despite his consistency and resilience. At the same time, Hackett suggested that Davis's move up in weight could work in his favor, allowing him to feel healthier, stronger, and more mentally clear than he had at lightweight. With those factors in mind, Hackett saw no decisive edge for either fighter.